Oh look, there's another one. Imagine this, you're in Nebraska and Biden literally saves your farm from with funds from the Inflation Reduction Act. And then you vote for Trump because you hate democratic policies. Again, I don't really think it's so much about Republicans / Democrats and a little bit more about I just don't like people and things and people. Now you're about to lose your farm because of Trump. That's crazy. Yeah, that is crazy, isn't it? That's crazy. And then Mr. Roboto at the top is, and they will probably vote Republican again because it's not actually about the politics. What's the comment saying? It would be really helpful if they could name a single thing Biden did that was problematic or questionable. Well, yeah, but then they would reel off a bunch of things that aren't true, which I suppose to the person asking the question just lets us know they're probably not paying attention too much. If it is mostly just lies and fake news or whatever, then the news or the information that they are paying attention to probably is not entirely fact-checked. But they are just going to lie about it, right? Whereas with Trump, I have already lost count of the idiocy that is affecting people like the farmer in the Post, the layoffs, the tariffs, the shutting of US aid and USAID, and the pending shutdown, etc., etc. Yeah, exactly. I mean, was tariffs not enough, you know? I'm a businessman and I know how tariffs work, and it's actually an import tax, but I'm still going to vote for it anyway because he said that we'll make money from these other countries. I'm trying to find their logic. I'm trying to find it. This is OP. So OP says, before the election, my grandma says she's voting for Trump. I said the opposite, Harris. And she goes, she doesn't have any policies. She only had policies. Whether or not they're policies that you agree with, you have to deal with the reality of she was a lot of policies whilst he was dealing with concepts of a plan. I ask, what policies does Trump have? She scoffs. I can list a bunch. She didn't list any and moved on to another topic. Again, and even if she did list a bunch, they would probably be lies. Do you know what I mean? But again, that seems like a person who wasn't paying attention to policies. It's not about policy. It's not about actually really what he was actually going to do for people. It was probably more about what he was going to do to other people that you don't like, eh, Grandma? She probably thinks Trump is the real businessman despite the consequences. She's a successful real estate agent with like 5 million saved up. So she's business savvy. 5 million's worth of real estate business savvy, and she's still voting for Trump. That's how you know this is a person who has not done their research. By the time it came to her doing her research, like the rest of us trying to explain to Grandma, hey, he's a bad businessman, she's already in the belief system that he's a good businessman. So you can't even explain to her after the fact, hey, he bankrupted this many casinos, he destroyed his father's this, he destroyed it, because we're beyond the point of the belief system being put in place. I think for a lot of these Trump supporters and certainly cult members, especially the cult members, it's like their belief system, oh my gosh, that's what religion does too. Their belief system kind of is their shield, right? It's like a protective layer that they wear on the outside of themselves or whatever. Like no matter what information, fact, proof, logic, even experience that I am directly experienced, no matter what comes at me, if I keep this shield of faith in front of me, you know, nothing can tell me any different. Like, yeah, that's what religion does too, especially Christianity, especially American Christianity. And again, obviously, we are not exempt. It is very much here. Y'all guys were literally born of us in many ways. But again, everything in America whacked up to the nines, right? You hit that volume and you whack it all the way up in America. And the same goes for religion as well. And I do think that it is a coping mechanism. Yeah, because the thing is, for a lot of these people, like Grandma, for example, if you bring her any information and she was to listen to and take on board any information that contradicts her belief system about specifically Trump in this instance, she's going to have to change the way she thinks about a lot of things if she's got to change the way that she sees the literal leader of her country. Right? And again, same kind of thing happens with God and religion and stuff like that, right? It's what you're asking, you're not asking for them to take on one piece of information. You're asking them to take on that piece of information and that piece of information to shatter their entire worldview. It can be hard, especially for grandma when she's stuck in her ways. And I think that that's why the whole deprogramming of MAGA and stuff is going to take a heck of a long time. Number one, because there's so many people. Number two, because there's such ready access to each other on the internet and stuff. But also number three, because we're not just asking them to understand what Trump has done or who he is or what the government is doing right now. Like, it's so much more than that. You're asking them to fundamentally change what they believe about existence and life itself sometimes.